Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich. I want to wish everybody and your families out there a very happy Easter. I hope you're enjoying this Sunday with your friends and family. But I'm here because we have a serious severe weather threat heading our way late tonight and really early Monday, even into Monday, middle of the day for central and eastern North Carolina. So stay weather aware. I know we're focused on Easter today, but this is a significant severe weather event, and I'll get into those details right now. Let's start with what's happening right now. Over the Carolinas, we're kind of wedged in. What I mean by that is temperatures are in the 50s and 60s. That's a good thing. That's keeping severe weather away, but it's making for miserable cold rain, which will only intensify as the day goes on. So if you got stuff to do outdoors, I hope you got it done early today because it's only going to get worse as the day goes on. We look to the southwest. We've got new tornado watch. This is one of those PDS tornado watches. PDS stands for particularly dangerous situation. These are pretty rare. This means that we're not only looking at tornadoes, but strong long track tornadoes possible, EF 2, 3, 4, and up. So significant tornadoes. Now, it doesn't mean the number of tornadoes is much larger. It just means the tornadoes that are going to form are going to be significant. And we are eventually going to have to deal with this system by tomorrow morning. It's back here to the southwest. It's going to be heading our way and will be over us by about sunrise on Monday. So let's start with first things first. We've got flash flooding issues in the mountains. This is where we're going to see flooding be an issue because upslope flow tonight through tomorrow morning. So flash flood watches up for the North Carolina mountains. Let's start with that severe weather outlook today. Obviously, we know it's higher to our southwest. Now remember, the thing about these outlooks, they go from 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. So 8 a.m. today to 8 a.m. tomorrow. So we expect that this part of our area will be the 8 a.m. time frame under the medium threat. As we go into tomorrow, you'll see 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. the next day, which is 8 a.m. Monday to 8 a.m. Tuesday, means we've got a higher risk for severe storms in our sandhills and central and eastern North Carolina and medium threat. So you can kind of see how this is going to transition over the area. Now, my concern is what I'm starting to see with some of the tornado parameters. And the first thing I'm going to show you is what we call significant tornado parameter. Well, I know that went really quick, so I'll slow it down. This doesn't mean the chance of tornado right now. This means the ingredients for tornado. So obviously from a scale from 0 to 10, the more ingredients you have in place, the higher the probability. So we go through it today. Obviously we're wedged in, no issues today. Watch what happens overnight tonight after about midnight. We start to see those ingredients increasing. So I'm going to stop this about 3 o'clock in the morning. And you can see even in the mountains, here's the thing, even in the mountains, I think there's going to be potential for some tornadoes, though it's a little bit lower. Almost the entire area has a threat to see a tornado. Now, there's one area in particular that is really heightened, and I'm going to show you that as we go through the morning hours. I'll stop this at 5 a.m. You start to see around Charlotte East. So basically, if you take a line I-77 out to here, this is the area of big concern. So we'll put a big exclamation point. This is the area that I am most concerned about for tornadoes because we have the overlap of the ingredients and the strong winds, as well as possibly some warmer air surging in from the south. Now, if this system slows down at all, this is a bad thing because the system slows down. It allows time for warm, humid air to surge up into here. So this is 7 a.m. on Monday morning. So tomorrow morning, you could see kind of the time frame. Once the front moves through, the threat for tornadoes goes down dramatically. There's a little lag with the numbers and the contours, so just bear with me as it kind of shifts off to the east. But you could see how this kind of moves through the area. Now, let me show you a product that I like showing quite a bit. This is something we call rotation tracks. Now, remember, this is a model. This is not showing exactly where we're expecting rotation. I look for the strength of these and how many in a location. So, for instance, if I see here, I see a lot of tracks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, and very high levels of rotation in the updrafts. Remember, rotating thunderstorms, we call them supercells. When there's a rotating updraft, that's called a mesocyclone, those storms tend to produce tornadoes about 30% of the time. So it's one of the first things we look at on radar and in guidance. Are these storms going to have rotating updrafts? That's a sign of a severe thunderstorm and always something that we will start watching closely for tornadoes. So watch these rotational tracks through tonight. Obviously, nothing over the Carolinas until really after midnight tonight. And then watch the tracks shift across our area between about 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. Now, again, don't look at the specific tracks because I know everybody who lives here is going, uh-oh, And everyone who's living here is going, uh-oh. Here's the thing. Everybody in here needs to be saying, uh-oh, because 1, 2, 3, 4 tracks. There will be 4 tracks, it looks like, somewhere in this vicinity. We can't specifically tell you exactly where. It's like pop-up thunderstorms. I know there's going to be a 40% chance of pop-up storms. It's hard to tell you exactly where they're going to pop up until the storms do. We just know in that area, that's the chance of seeing rotating storms. So don't overanalyze these maps because it's really, they're guidance. They're not the word, they're not the actual, here's the definitive answer. So I just show these because it gives you a general idea on the number of tracks. That's really what I look at, number and intensity. So you get the idea, and as we go east, you could see that the chances in the morning start to go up. So as far as threats overall, here's my threat outlook. You can see this threat, damaging winds, still our biggest concern because it will impact more people. There's likely a 30% chance to 40% chance of damaging winds. Tornado chances are increasing. They're now in the medium range. And obviously we have a flood watch, so flooding is a concern. So let me show you those tornado threats. This is broken down by chances today. And really, I should say tonight, because this is basically between midnight and about 8 a.m. So if you look carefully, most of our area is in the 5% probability. The yellow is 2%, and red off to the south is 10%. So this is tonight, midnight to 8 a.m. Chances of tornadoes within 25 miles of any point on the map. Watch what happens tomorrow, 8 a.m. and beyond. So this is through 8 a.m. This is 8 a.m. and after. So you see the chances 10%. Now, why is these hash marks? Well, when we put hash marks on an outlook, that means we expect significant tornadoes. So that's a 10% chance of tornadoes, but the chance of these being EF2 or higher, which are strong to intense tornadoes, is significant. That means we don't expect just quick spin-ups. We're expecting long track, like think of movie type tornadoes. So this is why this area of concern I highlighted earlier is something we're really watching. So if you live east of I-77, you have to have a plan now for tomorrow. The good news is I think this is not going to happen while you're sleeping. This is going to happen after sunrise. So tomorrow morning, first thing you get up, make sure every device is charged. Make sure you have 3 ways to get a warning, because these aren't going to be cheap little spin-up tornadoes. These are going to be legit big tornadoes, especially in central North Carolina. Just the way the ingredients, this is not to scare you. This is just to prepare you that these are going to be significant tornadoes that develop tomorrow. So let's go right to our Futurecast here, and I'm going to stop it, and we'll go hour by hour. So again, this is all just regular heavy rain. This is why the flood watch is up. Look at all this rain through tonight. There might be a rumble of thunder, and we'll have to watch the warm front coming through. There's a non-zero threat for tornadoes and severe weather, but the threat overall is pretty low today. Overnight, there could be a lull before the main line moves in. So watch this line approaching from the west. And again, the key is if this is slower, this is the line of storms coming in. If it's slower, that gives time for the southerly wind to advect or transport juicy, plump, really just amazing amounts of moisture and instability. We don't want that. If that happens, if this slows down, slowing down is not a good thing. I'm just going to tell you. It's not going to be great if it speeds up, but it'll be the tornado threat would actually go down, I think, a little if this came through quicker. Damaging wind threat, sure, still high, but tornado threat would be down. So watch what happens as this moves. This is 5:30 a.m., 6:30 a.m. The thing that, has me concerned, and then looking at just the parameters, is looking the way that this line is setting up in the short range guidance. This isn't really a line per se. I know it looks like one, but if you look carefully, there's individual cells, these supercells, and even maybe some of these. I would like to see one solid line. When we see this broken up into segments, that means the storms can stay away from each other, just enough spacing for them to rotate. Tornadoes are crazy things in Mother Nature. They're very powerful, but if they get disrupted or one ingredient gets taken away, you don't get them. And when storms are close to each other, they tend to interrupt each other. The inflow, the outflow, the circulations get destroyed. But when they're separated like this, they're able to rotate without disturbance from nearby storms. So that's why individual storms by themselves are always going to be more dangerous. Strong winds coming in like this, surface winds are coming in like this. So that changing of wind direction and speed with height is off the charts wind shear. Really some of the highest levels I've seen in a while around here as far as wind energy. This is 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m. So you could see it's going to move through quick, and it's going to be after sunrise, but it's going to get in here right around sunrise to shortly after, and then by mid to late morning it's gone. So we'll go back to the timing here, and again, I made some minor adjustments. Tornado threat is still pretty high. We've got it in the red. The wind threat is a little bit higher. I'm going to move my head out of the way. But again, that time frame, I've adjusted it slightly. I'm going to go 3 a.m.-ish to about 9 a.m.-ish. Okay? So just to give you that general rule. And again, a lot of folks will ask me, I can see it already in the comments, what about this town? It's the entire area, folks. There's some areas that are a little bit higher, but the timing is pretty much the same for everybody because it's going to be a line moving across. Now, later as you go east, obviously, but for the Western Carolinas, again, let's go back to here. We'll stop this overnight. So if you're looking for timing, the mountains, 4 or 5 a.m. Piedmont, 5, 6, 7, 8 p.m. Or 8 a.m., 8 a.m. Sorry, I'm getting my mornings and evenings confused. And you can see more. So, individual town, it doesn't matter. If you live anywhere in here, you're going to be impacted, okay? And then I know we've got a lot of followers in Eastern North Carolina. The timing is later, obviously. Central North Carolina looks to be 9, 10 a.m. And these look really nasty out towards Southern Pines and Fayetteville. Raleigh, 10 a.m., 11. And then the coast right around midday. So that should give you a pretty good time. So this was a really long video. Sorry, I couldn't go short, but there's a lot to cover here. I will leave this up for a second. Please stay weather aware. I cannot emphasize this enough. Have 3 ways to get warnings, okay? That means you need to have either social media, smartphone apps, weather radio, TV, whatever. At least 3. Have more because some of them might fail, some might not work while you're sleeping or doing something else. So have multiple ways to get warnings and make sure you have a plan. What I mean by a plan is everyone in your house today has to know where are we going to go in a tornado warning? What room? Our helmets in there, can we all fit? Those type of plans, okay? Middle of the house, interior room, away from outside walls and windows. I hope to do a video later today explaining some of those parameters. Stay safe, everybody. Don't freak out. Nothing of this is to scare you. It's just to prepare you. Remember, anything, safety is more about preparedness than fear. Not having information is more dangerous than having information. So in this case, being prepared and ready is the best course and the best remedy to anything, any fear you have, is just to be ready. Empower yourself with that information and be ready. Hopefully this will move in and out and miss most of us, but it is a significant event. The wind energy is off the charts. I didn't even show you the wind speeds, but trust me, 40 to 60 mile wind gusts will certainly be possible.